Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Amanda, and today I'll be walking you through the basics of Vault. I will then pass it over to Blakely, who will discuss the officer purchasing card. Please feel free to ask questions as we go. I will try to share some questions and answers before I pass it over to Blakely. Just a few things to keep in mind. This is a general Vault webinar. If you have specific questions about how your chapter does something specific to your organization, please reach out to your appropriate support email. And now I would like to introduce who OmegaFi is. For more than 30 years, OmegaFi has provided technology solutions to help customers manage their finances, streamline their operations, recruit new members, and communicate with their members. We are based out of Columbus, Georgia. We securely process more than 1.1 million per day for our clients and have securely processed more than 4 billion since 1992. We're also deeply committed to serving, promoting, and advancing the fraternity and sorority experience. We are passionate about what we do, and it's this passion that has encouraged our clients to trust us to do the heavy lifting so they can focus on their mission and having fun. All right, let's get started. So what is Vault? Vault is OmegaFi's solution to manage your chapter's billing, member collections, and payments. It allows all officers and advisors a glimpse into the everyday financial operations of your chapter. The Vault homepage is completely customizable to only show you what you want to see. The carousel slider across the top contains links to view action items, recommendations, and more. In the top right-hand corner, you'll see different icons. The bell icon notifies you of action items that require your attention, such as assigning new members to a billing group, update Vault users, or review past due bills. The gear icon is the administrative tools. This is where you manage Vault permissions and users, update custom member fields, and links to contract management feature. The question mark provides tips for utilizing whichever page the user is on. The grid icon allows users to navigate between various OmegaFi applications that they have access to, such as Omega One or Omega Recruit. The communications menu allows you to communicate with your members via Vault. Announcements can be shown to different audiences and tailored to fit the chapter's needs. Examples of announcements are reminders about a chapter meeting, philanthropy events, submit study hours, etc. Calendar items can be added to a personal or chapter calendar. Events on the calendar are color-coded. OmegaFi statement dates and due dates are in blue, national events are in red, personal events are in orange, and chapter events are in green. Polls can be created and shown to different audiences to fit the chapter's needs. You can create polls to solicit opinions from your members on where to hold an event or for a major chapter decision. The Resource Center can be used as an e-filing cabinet. Chapter documents, bylaws, and other forms can be uploaded here. Mass email lets Vault users send mass emails to members and/or parents. You can send a mass email when you need to remind your members about a payment deadline, or you can use the mass email templates to remind past due members about their balances owed to the chapter. The member contact information reports are reports that allow you to pull specific contact information for members quickly. You can pull reports of all phone numbers, mailing and email addresses, and emergency contact information. The chapter menu is where you'll go to manage your member roster to ensure member statuses are up to date and where you can view or update chapter information such as officers, chapter contacts, and more. The member roster displays a complete chapter roster in two separate tables, the active records and the other records. Active records is a list of members with a member status of new member and initiate. The other records is a list of members with a member status of alumnae or alumnus, disassociated, deceased, other, and suspended. Add new members is where you'll add new members after recruitment. New members added in the last 7 days will also display here to avoid duplicate entry. If your organization has any national specific requirements regarding the entry of new members, you'll see those details listed here as well. If this option is not available to you, you'll add your new members through your national portal. Contact your headquarters for more details on how to add your new members. Archive member records removes the member from the roster in several reports. However, their transactions details remain on financial reports. Members with the status of alumnus, disassociated, deceased, other, and suspended are eligible to be archived if they have a zero balance. Update member statuses is where you will update member statuses to initiate, alumnus, deceased, etc. en masse. Keeping member statuses up to date is crucial because national dues and fees billed by your headquarters may be based on these statuses. We recommend you update member statuses at the beginning and end of each term. Member initiation reporting guidelines vary by organization. If your organization requires you to submit new members through Vault, national specific instructions will be viewable here. Chapter information is a place to update chapter specific data. Chapter detail displays contact, tax, and other information for the chapter. The officers list both undergraduate, non-undergraduate, and House Corporation officers. From here, you can add new officers or edit existing officers. I do want to note that any undergraduate members listed under the undergraduate officers listing are automatically granted access to manage the communications menu on Vault. This allows officers to send mass emails, as well as give them the ability to add chapter calendar items, polls, announcements, and resource center documents. Remember, you can edit an officer's Vault permission by selecting the gear icon in the top right-hand corner of Vault. Under the House menu, you'll see housing-related information. House detail is used to maintain records for a chapter house, property, or meeting space. Contract management provides a better way for your chapter or house corporation to manage contracts and agreements with members and parents. A few examples of contracts agreements you can upload are lease agreements, risk management agreements, social media agreements, parking contracts, and promissory notes. The billing menu is where you'll go to ensure your members are receiving the correct charges each term. Turn billing on or off for a member, set up the scheduled charges for the next semester, add charges for t-shirts, events, fines, etc., and so much more. The member list by billing group provides a member list that can be sorted by column. A member's billing group determines which scheduled charges will apply to their account on each billing cycle's bill-on date. A member's billing status determines if scheduled charges auto-assess to a member's account. If active displays in the member's billing status field, the system will auto-assess scheduled charges based on the member's billing group assignment. If inactive displays, no new scheduled charges assess. However, if the member owes a balance, they will continue to receive statements from Omega Phi until their balance is zero. Assign members without a billing group tells you which members are listed in a temporary billing group. When a user adds new members and the user does not have user rights to manage billing, the new members do not have a billing group assignment. It is important to assign billing groups immediately, so the members receive a statement. Review roster and billing discrepancies displays members whose billing status conflicts with their member status. It allows users to update their statuses. For example, if a member status is alumnus, but their billing status is active, typically members with a member status of alumnus should have an inactive billing status and vice versa. Under statement details, you'll see items that directly correlate with member statements. The billing overview displays an overview of charges scheduled for a particular term, winter, spring, summer, or fall, according to cycle, billing type, transaction description, and account. Billing dates provides a list of all scheduled billing cycles. Each billing cycle has 4 dates. The bill on is the date scheduled charges assessed to member accounts in accordance with their billing status and billing group. The statement on is the date statements process and are sent to members. The due on is the due date that appears on the statement. The late after is the date unpaid balances age and late fees assessed if your chapter has a late fee set up in billing options. Statement contact information or the chapter's primary contact for finances will appear on member statements, in addition to OmegaFi's customer service information. The statement message is customizable message that appears at the bottom of your member's statements. Due to space limitations, there is a maximum character limit of 255. Delinquency messages will appear if a member's account is delinquent. OmegaFi is required to provide written notification to members of their delinquency in accordance with consumer protection laws. You can select the link to view examples of the delinquency messages that appear on statements. Late fee and prepayment options provides the chapter preferences for late fees and prepayment discounts. Accounts and criteria for both options are set by the chapter or headquarters if you have a national late fee. Late fees can be processed to delinquent member accounts based on a flat rate or a percentage of the member's balance. Also, a late fee threshold can be set so member balances lower than the threshold are not charged a late fee. Prepayment discounts can be set by billing groups for flexibility. Member payments allows you to enter payments for up to 15 payments received locally. To record a payment, you'll select a member who made payment from the drop-down menu. You'll select the payment method from the drop-down menu, and then you'll enter the check number if applicable and enter the amount. Then you'll click Create Payment to enter the payment. Please note, to eliminate liability for chapter officers and reduce trips to the bank, instruct your members to pay OmegaFi directly. Members can pay online via their MyOmegaFi account with the MyOmegaFi mobile app, by mail, or over the phone. The Payments Received report provides a summary of payments received within a specified date range. This report is divided into 2 sections. The top section provides a list of members' payments within the selected date range. The summary at the bottom has the total payments received locally and total payments received by OmegaFi. The AutoPay report is a list of members who establish AutoPay on their MyOmegaFi account. There are 2 ways to add miscellaneous transactions to member accounts for t-shirts, events, fines, etc. You can add transactions en masse. It lets you create up to 15 transactions for multiple members' accounts, or you can add transactions to a group. It lets you create transactions to a group of members at once. Once you create transactions, they are in a status of pending. You can view pending transactions. This is a list of transactions that will post overnight. Omega5 posts transactions daily at approximately 3:45 a.m. Eastern. Chapter created pending transactions are editable until the transaction post to members' accounts. And you can hover over the icon and it will tell you who created that transaction, either the chapter or Omega5. Transaction search allows Vault users to search for specific transactions on member accounts using any of the given criteria. The delinquent accounts section provides resources on how to manage member accounts and a delinquent status. The aging detail provides an aging summary of the whole chapter to indicate the aging status of outstanding statements. It also provides an aging status on a member-by-member basis, sorting the members into their appropriate past due status: current, past due, severely past due, pending charge-off, and charge-off. These past due statuses correspond with how many billing cycles past due a member is. Delinquency Actions is a tool to document payment arrangements or notes about actions taken against delinquent members. It provides an at-a-glance view of statistics that directly relate to successful collections from members with a delinquent balance. Send Members to Collections houses a list of members in the charge-off status that are eligible for collections. This page assists chapter leaders in reviewing accounts to determine which members to send to collections. Late fee management allows Vault users the ability to turn off late fees for specific members who have payment arrangements or a hardship. We recommend you regularly review members with late fees held to ensure members adhere to payment arrangements and remove the hold on late fees when appropriate. The Reports section has helpful member reports you can easily access to ensure members are up to date on payments. The Member Income Report is a detailed accounting of all member income during the date range selected. There are 3 levels of the report. Balances by Income Account report contains a list of all members, a breakdown of each member's balance by income account, and includes subtotals of balances owed for each income account. Under the administrative tools, you'll find the donation form. This form can help you collect funds and information for alumni donations and gifts, special event registrations, and/or chapter fundraisers. Customize the form by choosing your own color, title, text, instructions, and contact information. After you create your form, you can provide interested donors or event attendees with a direct web address or place a link to the form on your chapter's website. Payment can be remitted by Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover. Under the Order Graphic Cow t-shirts, this allows officers to create t-shirts for members to order using Graphic Cow. Members are notified via email and on My Omega5 that a t-shirt is available for order. They can view an image of the t-shirt before placing their order online. Bill Pay is Omega5's accounts payable solution. We'll highlight this area of Vault, but we do have a recorded Bill Pay webinar in our Help Center under the Videos Webinar section. We encourage you to view that as well. The Register section shows Bill Pay fund registers and officer purchasing cards, which Blakely will go into more detail in just a moment. Bill Pay funds are listed with the available balance, which includes all processed transactions, pending deposits, pending payments, and pending transfers. Payments allows you to view and add outstanding bills, approve them for payment, and view pending and scheduled payments. You have the option to print checks locally, to issue reimbursements to members, or pay your vendors directly. Printing checks locally requires specific check stock to print your checks on. Checks cannot be printed on regular paper, nor can they be printed on non-OmegaFi check stock. If you'd like to order OmegaFi check stock, please contact OmegaFi and send your shipping address along with which check stock package you'd like to purchase. The accounting section is where you'll go to build a chapter budget, pull financial reports for an executive board meeting, or file your chapter taxes. One thing to point out here is the vault billing fee details. OmegaFi will calculate the chapter's total for the term based on the number of active status members on the chapter's billing roster. We then withhold a percentage of each payment until we collect the total amount for the term. Vault billing fee details provides a breakdown of the fees, how much the total fee for the term is, how much has been collected, and the balance at any given point during the term. Lastly, our Get Help section has general resources and videos to help you navigate and complete tasks within Vault. You can search specific words or phrases and articles matching your search. You can search specific words or phrases, and articles matching your search will populate to help you find the answers you need. I do want to point out our new section for incoming officers or even for seasoned officers where it says new officers, click here if you'd like to refresh your memory on some things.
So thank you, Amanda. I'm going to go ahead and get started and talk about officer purchasing cards. So the officer purchasing card is OmegaFi's benefit to using our Vault Bill Pay services. OmegaFi officer purchasing Visa prepaid card is a safe and convenient way to make purchases for your chapter. From the officer purchasing card screen, you can view all the cards associated with your chapter's bill pay account. You can also view the balances on all the cards, transfer funds to any active cards, select a card from the list to view the card register, add a new card, and view any pending invites. To add a new card, you're going to select Add Card under the Officer Purchasing Card page. If you are adding the card for yourself, you'll just select For Me and go ahead and complete the form. If you're adding a new card for another officer or an advisor, you'll select For Others, and you'll complete the form by selecting a name from their pick list and then clicking Submit. The person that you picked will then receive an email invite with details on the program and instructions for enrollment. Each chapter is eligible for one free card, and each additional card ordered costs $10 per month, which is assessed annually in one installment of $120. Having the card will give you quick and secure access to the funds within bill pay. This gives you the ability to load and unload money from your bill pay as needed, and it can be used for any sort of transaction at a store or online. There are great benefits to this program in order to help keep control of spending, as whoever has the card only has access to the money that you choose to load onto that card. And if they try to go over their limit, it won't continue to draft from that bill pay account once the limit is reached. It can also prevent any sort of potential fraud or theft, since you can load or unload just the right amount of money onto the card. If you ever did misplace your card, you'll just log into your Vault account and unload it, which protects your chapter's funds. So again, increased security, some transparency in how your officers are using their funds. All of these are benefits of using the officer purchasing card. Every time you use that card, your transactions are going to populate within Vault. So you can find that under your alerts notification section, as well as the review cards transaction page. From that page, you'll be able to update the income or expense accounts for each specific transaction. You'll just select the transaction from the drop-down menu. When you submit it, it'll update the information in your reporting so that when you check your expenditure reports, it'll show you where those funds went. So you can update a certain transaction to show that, purchasing, say, paper plates or something like that, was for recruitment, or maybe for an officer retreat. So you'll be able to code those transactions, which will increase the accuracy of your reporting. Also, within the officer purchasing card program, we have what we call card holders versus card managers. So a card holder is someone that has a card within with their name on it, and those are the folks that are going to be out there actually using those cards to make purchases. A card manager is someone that has the ability to move money on or off the card as needed, and may have more like greater bill pay access. So not every card holder has to be a card manager, and not every card manager has to have a card. So you can have multiple officers or advisors that are managers. They could be, the president, the treasurer, and the chapter advisor who have access to load money on or update, update those cards within Vault. Everybody can have the exact level of user access that they need to do either of these things. So you can update user access for the Vault for the officer purchasing card as needed under Bill Pay's user access section, which you'll find here. So Bill Pay has its own separate user access, and so you'll want to make sure that you've granted their global permissions and that they have the appropriate permissions to either view bills, create bills, manage their vendors, or manage cards. And then once you've done that, you'll also add fund account permissions as needed. So you'll just click this plus button here and select the appropriate fund. And then you can give them the right level of access for whatever that officer or that advisor may be using their bill pay access for. You can have the ability to, like I said, have somebody who doesn't have a card who has access to all of this. Somebody with a card could have all of the access needed. So if your treasurer is going to be your primary card holder, they can operate as both a card holder and a manager. And really you can kind of make this program work for you and your expense management protocols as needed. We're going to talk about a few tips to get the most out of your card. The biggest one is like we really don't want you to share your card with anyone, including other officers or members. If you have multiple members who need a card, it's best to go ahead and just get them their own card to make sure that any purchases that they make aren't being flagged as fraudulent. So if somebody else is using your card, we do face the potential that that's flagged as fraud. If you get a claim for fraudulent charges, you're going to call Brightwell's fraud department at 404-855-2516, and that helpline is going to be in the officer purchasing card best practices section on the help center. We also really encourage you to be mindful about where you're spending money using your officer purchasing cards. Make sure that you're using secure and trusted websites for online purchases. Don't save your card information to any websites. And when you do use it on a website, be sure to sign out of the site after you complete your purchase. It's also important to remember this is a prepaid card, so only keep the money that you need on your card. Any excess funds should go ahead and be transferred back to your bill pay fund after you've made your purchases. If you're using your card for lodging expenses, so purchasing space at a hotel or renting an Airbnb, you should expect an additional 20% hold on your available funds for security measures. We encourage you to load funds on your card to cover this additional amount. It's also a really good idea to regularly review your transactions. Make sure that the transactions that you're seeing are the ones that you made, that we're not, that your card hasn't been compromised in some way. It's also a great time for you to make sure that you have, added any documentation to those transactions that is needed as part of your chapter's protocol. And of course, speaking of documentation, we want to make sure that as you're making those purchases, you're going ahead and taking a picture or a screenshot of your receipt immediately after purchase, so that you have that documentation to submit as part of your purchasing reports. If you've ordered a card but you haven't received in a plain white envelope addressed to you, usually within 10 to 14 days of your enrollment. So when you receive your card, you're going to want to immediately activate it. And after your new card is activated, be certain to deactivate cards for any previous card holders or officers. So if you're the new treasurer, you want to make sure that the old treasurer's card is deactivated if they're no longer going to be using it. Like I said, we do have a help center. If you select the Get Help button, that has a whole section on bill pay and officer purchasing cards, can help you along the way. And of course, if we don't have the answer that you're looking for, you can click the support button and we'll be happy to assist you. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining us. We will be having some more webinars in the future, so keep an eye on your email for communications about upcoming Vault officer transition season webinars and training resources. Thanks again, everyone. Have a good one.